1, 2, 3. For the people that are writing graffiti, like we know each other by name and we know each other's work without even knowing the person behind it most of the time. And you can become the talk of the town by just writing graffiti all over the place. When I started, 15, 16 years old, I wasn't really prepared for getting some ass whooping. So I had like a passion for graffiti, but at the same time, like it was a tough environment. After a couple of like occurrences where things didn't go as planned, I decided to give up. I was like probably 16. I still had friends that were writing graffiti. And 6 months later, they were like, yo dude, it's your birthday, you gotta come out with us. Like, we're gonna go write graffiti. And I try to be like, I guess, sarcastic about the whole thing and didn't take it too seriously. And I decided to take a name that was almost like a kid's nickname. Gory in French means slub, and you address a kid that eats really bad, you call him a little gory. And I thought it was just a funny name, you know, like in this world of like very serious hip-hoppers where everybody was trying to act tough. I thought it was like pretty smart to just come up with like the most ridiculous name, and that's how Gory started. Things hand-done in the city nowadays are very rare, and when you walk in Chinatown today, you can see like very, very few older joints that still have like their hand-painted sign and still have like flavor and texture. Most of the modern stuff is going to be like a very bad typographic choice with vinyl cutout execution and very, very poor graphic language, and they destroyed a very awesome past of great signage, and those are the textures that I was looking for. If you can find even like an old like shoemaker store sign that has hand-done painted letters, you're gonna get like a lot more craft into just saying like it's a business, and that appeals me. We strolled around Chinatown for an entire day looking for specific locations. There's a few things that we realized that we would have never seen if we didn't do that exercise. We were trying to have like a very wide palette with different possibilities when we were scouting, and most of the awnings in Chinatown are yellow, which I think is really funny. Chinatown is one of those still pretty gritty places in New York where graffiti is still there and the streets are dirty and it smells. You can choose like a total different angle and focus on something that nobody would have paid attention at, and that's when you get the good photograph. When I started working a lot with watercolor, I was creating imaginary worlds. I was creating those like shanty towns, tree houses, and I realized after a while that I was like lacking of like strong lights and the photographic aspect of a picture, you know, like where things are really defined and really sharp. And I started working with watercolor, but observing photos instead of just like drawing from whatever I was thinking of. At first started like an exercise, you know, it was more like you're gonna like train your eye and learn like how to lay color the good way. But I started a small series of watercolor paintings done from photography, and I was going through Brooklyn and finding like cool places where I would have those sign paintings, bodegas and whatnot, you know, like just street corners. And I did a whole series that was more for me at first because it was really, like I said, you know, an exercise. And I showed some to BK and we had the idea to do a lookbook. I truly believe that everyone can draw before pre-K, daycare or whatnot, you know, like there's always like a big effort put on expressing yourself through different mediums. Everybody's entitled to the fun of painting and to the fun of sculpting, modeling clay, or being creative. I don't know, it's gratifying, it's a great little activity that's very mesmerizing, and like I don't need to think of anything else when I'm doing this. And this is exactly where I want to be, and this is exactly what I want to do. And it's great that HUF is giving me that opportunity right now.